I am a dual trained physician, internal medicine and pediatrics, so I see babies as young as a day or two old on up to the geriatric range of 100, 102 years old. So I was formerly a flight medic enlisted and now serving as a flight surgeon and a commander, and just love the mission, the people that we serve, the people we help. I was working an ER shift one night here in my community ER, community outside of a major metropolitan city, and a young man checks in, he and his wife, presenting to the ER, and he's just complained of feeling depressed, feeling sad. It was a very tense situation. I walked into the room. He's lying in bed, not making any eye contact. His wife had a very closed, nervous posture, sitting in a chair by the door. She made eye contact and asked a few open-ended questions, and I really wasn't getting a good feel that he wanted to talk. Couldn't tell if she was scared, afraid, or didn't know what to say. So I offered her an out, asked her if she'd like to leave and let us talk in private. And before I could finish that statement, she was already out the door. So I got a little nervous, didn't know what I had stepped into. And he went on to disclose that he was a member in the armed services. He was in the Army and had recently deployed to Iraq for over a year and was having difficulties at home. Just very loose, generic statements made by him. But he's very nervous. I was aware that he was very reluctant to disclose what was really going on with him, and he was kind of calculating his responses. And so recognizing that, I thought I would put him at ease by disclosing I too am a member of the armed services, actually the Air Force. He was an Army member. And I shared with him that I had once been enlisted for about 9 years as a med tech, and I was now serving in the capacity as flight surgeon here at the local guard unit, the Tennessee Air National Guard. And unfortunately, I didn't put him at ease. He got very nervous, didn't want to talk, and I asked him, several times, I understand the mission, we'll try to understand what you're going through. And he shared that, he feared if he talked to a military member that information would make it back to his unit. He was up for promotion, had served nobly and done well, and feared that him being here talking about depression and some PTSD related issues would cost him his promotion. So we spent about 15 or 20 minutes talking about confidentiality, that I was at his bedside in the capacity as a civilian provider. However, had the military experience and that expertise to maybe try to help bridge the gap and understand his struggle. And at that point, he relaxed. So this gentleman drove from a neighboring state about 2 hours to get to me, hoping to secure an anonymous visit. He knew he needed help, but he didn't want it disclosed. So we talked about, what he had done in the interim. Why didn't you seek, help or counsel in country? You had your medical corps, you have your physicians, your providers there, flight surgeons, you have your chaplain corps, and he pretty much said, if you go to those places, he felt like he'd be labeled. He didn't want to, quote, be put out on a mental, so he just dealt with it. And his dealing with it included increased alcohol consumption. He and some of the buddies that were sharing some of the same issues would get together and, try to cope, but they weren't doing well. So we talk about, what he's dealing with, what he's feeling. I'm honest, I am not a psychiatrist. I am not a licensed counselor, but in my capacity as a civilian ER physician, I am bound by the laws in Tennessee to, secure his safety. And I said that includes making you safe from yourself at this moment. Unfortunately, with our system, we don't have a process of follow-up. We don't get a courtesy letter of how the patient did. So I never heard any more from him, but there was that relief and reassurance that not only he wanted treatment, he didn't successfully succeed with his suicidal ideation and his plan for suicide. He did ultimately seek care, so we considered it a safe.